Welcome to Humanity at its Best. This is a special series during the pandemic to truly capture wonderful stories of people in everyday life just doing wonderful things. We are thrilled to partner with Points of Light, the world's largest not-for-profit that truly helps to accelerate change in our society. And with us today is Natalye Paquin, their CEO. Natalye, can you just share with us a bit about Points of Light and why participating in this podcast is important for you?
Thanks again, Carol, for inviting us to join you. I think that the work that you're doing is so important, and we appreciate being able to partner with you. I'd like to start by sharing with your audience a part of our beliefs. At Points of Light, we believe the most powerful force in the world is really the individual. And we also believe that every action, no matter how small, is important and it makes a difference. And so our organization, the way that we work is we're actually committed to empowering, connecting, and engaging individuals and organizations to be a force for social good. We have a network that is global in nature. We're in 37 countries, 200 cities. Each year, we, through our partners in our global network, mobilize over 5 million people to do good in their community.
That's fantastic. And I know that this is your 30th year. Ever since President Bush declared that we can all be points of light. So it's a very special year for all of us around the world. I know that one of the things that you have instituted is virtual volunteering because we must keep our social distancing. Can you talk a little bit about that and how our listeners can gain more information?
First, I'll say that the basic needs of community still exist, and we know that people want to help. Our priority, as is the priority of everyone who's engaged at this time, is for the health and safety of our staff members, of our partners, of volunteers, of community members. And so we are closely monitoring the COVID pandemic in the World Health Organization as well as the CDC and what their guidelines are in terms of how to engage. For us, we actually have a website, pointsoflight.org, where we match opportunities for people to volunteer virtually, whether it is on a COVID issue or on some other community issue. And these are projects that people can do at home or wherever they are.
We know that Points of Light is even more than volunteering, albeit volunteering is so important. Can you talk a little bit about how you view this century as the civic century, and what are the civic actions that people can take in addition to volunteering?
You know, we have as a sector counted on individuals to volunteer and do good. And we still believe that that is very important because when a person is in front of you, they're bringing their full selves to support your mission or help you solve your problem. But we also look at the individual and we're asking ourselves and asking the sector to, ask a different question, which is how do you make it easy for a person to lead and lend support to a cause they care about? And in this civic century, we know that people are able to use their buying power to support a cause. They're able to and support candidates and lean in on policy issues to move a social cause forward. They can use their voice. And, we use our voice through social media, but we also can use our voice just by having a dinner conversation with our friends and family, by sending an email, forwarding information to people. And so you use your voice to support causes. We also know that people are choosing to work in different places. It's important for their employer to have a point of view. So those are a couple of ways. And then there's also social entrepreneurism where nonprofits are, individuals are beginning small companies to solve problems. And then, of course, there's always the ability to be a service fellow with AmeriCorps or work, volunteer a year of your life or give a year of your life in service.
So there's so many ways that people can give back, and certainly my prediction after we get back to our somewhat normal lives is that people will be more collegial, empathetic. They will work to help each other, I believe, because I think that this is going to strip away a lot of our veneer and a lot of our need for lots of stuff and realize that it's human interactions that are the most important. So, towards human interactions, you have always believed in the power of storytelling. Why is storytelling so important now?
Well, storytelling is important because, one, during this time, I think people are just looking for good stories. And during this time, we see the best in humanity. But they're important because they inspire us, they lift our spirits. They communicate and share with us what others are doing, and they let us see that sometimes it's not so difficult to actually get something done or to work with others. They're also important because they reflect our value system. You know, we like to say what we celebrate reflects what we value. I mean, you think about a birthday when you celebrate a birthday because you value just another year of life. You celebrate graduations because you value the accomplishments of completing a curriculum. So, recognizing volunteers and recognizing people who are doing good and contributing to our community is really a reflection of what we value, and we think it's important to lift each other up during this time and throughout the year.
And is there a story? I mean, there's been so many stories that we're hearing now about our friends and our neighbors. I mean, I thought that the banging of the pots and the singing on balconies in various cities in Spain to really recognize all the healthcare responders. It was almost spontaneous. I mean, that was so wonderful. I love the way companies are changing their production models to make hand sanitizer. Or I thought this was great. Joanne Fabrics is sending out information to people that they can make masks for people. So is there a story, one or two, that's really stuck out for you?
There's so many. The one story I would share is my husband and I were looking at the news last night, and just right around the corner, because when we moved to Atlanta, we were in this one apartment building, and we stayed in the same neighborhood, and we saw on the news in Midtown Atlanta all of the folks in our past building that are coming out of similar, maybe they were inspired by the Italian singers, but they come out at 8 p.m. and then they have like a light and they make noise just to celebrate the first responders because, sometimes if you live in the city, you will hear the sirens and you will hear the emergency calls, and I guess they just kind of started that. And so I do think that it's nice for communities to come together and just recognize our first responders. That's important. In thinking about a couple of stories from our affiliates, they are being called, our affiliates in Nashville, they had to deal with the tornadoes and now with COVID. And so they're being called by city officials to organize volunteers. Our affiliate here in Atlanta, Hands On Atlanta, they're working with Feeding America and others to organize volunteers. I just got an email this morning. It came at 3 a.m. U.S. time, and I don't know what time that was in Ireland, but it was from our Ireland affiliate that was asking us a technical question around training and insurance and just making sure that people are covered when they are doing well. I would say doing good in their community. I would say that it's not hard to find people who are doing good, all you have to do is look up, look around, and there are just so many different stories. At Points of Light, we do have this award. It's called, or recognition, it's called our Daily Point of Light Award. And so for 30 years, we have been recognizing ordinary citizens engaged in extraordinary work. Again, at our website, pointsoflight.org, you can go and read about, individuals every day that are doing good in their community. And so I think we're in the 6,000s of individuals that we are recognizing.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I know that those are incredibly inspiring individuals. So what is your message for citizens who are seeking ways to give back in these really hard times?
My first message is just one of gratitude and to say thank you. Thank you for being yourself. Thank you for sharing your light with others and with the world. I also, say be a local light to continue to lift up others and share stories with just with your community. And I would just say keep sharing your light and to remember that no act is too small, that every action matters, and that the world is a better place because of the light that you share. And so thank you.
What kind of societal change do you wish to see after we get through this pandemic?
Well, we actually imagine a world where everyone is engaged, where no one is sitting on the sidelines, where just like you have a name, you have an issue or a cause that you're passionate about, that you're knowledgeable about, that you share the impact of with people that where everyone is in the game around the world, and that's in the game of doing good, helping others, and solving really important social problems. I'd love to add that, Carol, it is such a pleasure to work with you, to get to know you, the work that you've done on social purpose and getting companies and really leading in this area, getting people to understand that you can focus on profits and purpose, and they're both good for your company, good for the world. But I just want to say it's just a pleasure to work with you, and thank you for this podcast and lifting stories of goodness around the world. So thank you for what you're doing, and keep being a local light.
Oh, you're so sweet. You're so kind, and you're very, very generous with that. That is at the essence of humanity at its best. We want people to reach out to just send us an email to p360podcast@gmail.com, p360podcast@gmail.com, and tell us your story. We're then going to follow up with people. We're going to reach out to them, and we're going to invite them to be on the show.